Let's go to the latest on the Essex Lorry deaths case. British police have arrested 3 more people in connection with the deaths of 39 people found in the back of the container truck. All the 3 people have been arrested on suspicion of manslaughter and human trafficking. This while the 25-year-old truck driver remains in police custody over suspicion of murder. The police has also appealed to those who suspect that their relatives could have been in the trailer so that the identity of the victims could be established. Initial reports have suggested that all the victims were Chinese nationals. There has been no confirmation on this from Beijing yet. Chinese embassy officials have visited the spot where the bodies were discovered and urged British police to find out the truth and expedite probe behind the deaths.
中国政府对报道出来的这一案件高度的重视。目前呢，中方各有关部门正在密切的合作，展开各项工作。我们希望英方尽快的确认、核实遇难者的身份，查明事实真相，依法严惩涉案犯罪人员。
It's now being suspected that some of those in the trailer could be Vietnamese nationals. According to media reports, 26-year-old Vietnamese woman named Pham sent a message to her mother saying she's dying. The message was sent at a time when the lorry was on its way. In fact, it read, and I quote here, "I'm sorry, Mom. My path to abroad does not succeed, Mom. I love you so much. I'm dying because I cannot breathe. I'm sorry, Mom," unquote. This was sent at 4:28 a.m. Vietnamese local time on Wednesday. In Britain, that would have been around 10:28 p.m. Reports claim that Pham had tried and in fact traveled to England. Her family paid 30,000 euros to people smugglers. Pham's last known location was Belgium. Meanwhile, post-mortem examinations are underway on 11 of the 39 victims in the tragic event. Other news now, anti-government demonstrations have resumed in Iraq after a 3-week hiatus. At least 40 protesters have died in the latest protests. The violence, Iraq's worst since the fight against ISIS in 2017, has posed the biggest challenge to PM Abdul Mahdi since he took office a year ago. The unrest follows a continuation of the economically driven demonstrations that began in early October and turned deadly as security forces cracked down, even firing live rounds into crowds.
Large protests are expected in Iraq today.
Hundreds of protesters have made attempts to march towards the city's fortified green zone, which houses government buildings and foreign embassies, with protest even spreading to southern cities.
نطالب بكهرباء، لا نطالب بماء، لا نطالب، بل هذه الحقوق مشروع على الدولة أن توفرها. بل نحن اليوم نطالب أولا بإقالة الحكومة الحالية. مطلب اثنين تغيير الدستور.
Demonstrators say that the authorities have struggled to even address their basic issues. Despite the OPEC member countries' vast oil wealth, many Iraqis live in poverty. They have limited access to clean water, electricity, basic health care, or even decent education. Even Iraq's top Shiite cleric criticized the government's handling of the protests. In fact, Ayatollah Ali al-Sistani has warned that the country could be dragged into further chaos should the establishment continue to use excessive force to repel demonstrators.
وعزتنا في القوات الأمنية إلى الالتزام التام بسلمية التظاهرات وعدم السماح بانجرارها إلى استخدام العنف وأعمال الشغب والتخريب.
Iraqi Prime Minister Abdul Mahdi has warned that any collapse of government would drag Iraq into further turmoil. How the government and security forces will continue to handle protests in the weeks to come will be a litmus test for the stability of the country. Politicians and parties planned to address demonstrators on Friday, but their intervention was roundly rejected by protesters.